I'm exhausted.
Yeah, me too, but, you know, I'm really wired. What do you say I take you home and eat your
Nerderotic.com.
Some of you may have subscribed to this channel for Doctor Who. I cover Doctor Who, as covers Doctor Who. It is the franchise that has been affected the worst in all the woke entertainment over the last few years. It really can't take any more abuse. It doesn't need any more bad news, especially when we're talking about the good era of Doctor Who. Russell T Davies brought it back, and this is how you bring back a series. Well, two very popular actors are in trouble. Mickey, who was a companion, Rose's boyfriend, who got basically cucked by the Doctor. He just won a BAFTA. Noel Clarke has been killing it lately. Won a BAFTA, but it was taken away. He had 20 women accusing him, recently for very bad behavior. We don't know if there's any evidence, and that's very important in these cases. We are very anti-cancel culture here. I don't know if he's guilty or not. I guess that needs to be proven in a court of law, but we know that's not going to happen. A video surfaced later of him talking about John Barrowman, who is beloved in the Doctor Who community. He is Captain Jack. And this little tale that Noel told on this live stream is going to end him, or maybe not. We'll see if cancel culture comes for Noel Clarke and John Barrowman, who aren't straight white males, we'll just say.
Turned up, and Russell was there as well. They kind of came over. So.
And Barrowman's there taking his out every 5 seconds. Like, every 5 seconds, just hitting it on everything like that. You can't help but laugh. Like, Chris will be like, serious, I'm concentrating on my acting. For the record, any men out there, do not try that at work. You will be fired and possibly go to jail.
So how could John Barrowman get away with it then?
I think
He's
honestly,
adorable. He's adorable.
Also, I think it's because he is adorable and very light-hearted and stuff. It's because he's a gay man too. Like, you can... Am I lying? This dude, is he gay? This guy. And I feel like it's non-threatening, you know what I mean? Like, like all these straight guys are like, damn it, like, you can't do that at work, you're going to jail. But John Barrowman's like, hey, come here, hey. And everyone's like, oh, John,
Oh, John.
Oof. Wow. I think everybody likes John Barrowman, but I don't know how it's going to affect him. You saw the people there, right? They didn't have a problem with it necessarily. And a BAFTA, folks, it's like an Academy Award. So it got taken away from Noel Clarke, but not for that video, for something else.
And he's been removed from the BAFTA membership, or whatever you want to call it.
John Barrowman does a thing at Comic-Con every year when we had Comic-Con called Goes with John Barrowman, and it's kind of like that. I mean, I don't think he wasn't whipping it out, but practically. So this is something he's done forever. And again, the ladies didn't seem to have a problem with it. Now, I don't know if they really did and they were trying to be nice back then. Who knows?
So he's a wonderful performer on stage, a great singing actor. And he did a show years and years ago where there was a moment in the show where somebody they had a wardrobe malfunction, let's say, and he's laughing hysterically and jumping. And so he just strikes me as somebody who is just a goofball, and he kids around. And one of the weird things, again, in this industry, it's not a corporate environment. It's not one of those things where everyone's sort of, at least it used to not be this way, where people are just sort of really hemmed in, especially when you're talking about gay men. And in the entertainment industry, there is a much higher proportion of gay men, I think, than you would find in the general population. And I think Noel Clarke said it in the clip, people just kind of see it as harmless. And if he's goofing around and being kind of ridiculous, I mean, people love stuff like that, especially you're on set for a long day. You got these really long hours, and it's just weird. And I feel like the fact that people can joke about it in public, or at least at that time, they joked about it in public and people were laughing about it. It seems to me like at the time, people just didn't really mind. It might be weird to people who aren't in that kind of environment, but the issue is that what's becoming offensive and problematic, it grows and grows and grows and expands by the day, but it also becomes retroactively offensive. So so at the same time, you have this widening sphere of what's not okay, but you're supposed to atone for something that you did a long time ago. And honestly, watching that clip of Noel Clarke, I don't know his work. I haven't seen, the shows that he's done. And I read that really long Guardian article about all the accusations against him. And I got, it's kind of weird and complicated because on one hand, you have all these young 20-something actresses who are coming out. And I think one of the things about the whole Me Too controversy is that there's nothing simple about it. People say, well, if they're going to a hotel room, or if they're, they didn't have to take the job. But it's like, if you're 23 years old and you're a young woman and you know that youth and beauty are very, very valuable commodities and also very, very finite. And there's already a lot of instability in the career and you just want to work. And especially if you're a young white woman, as many of the women in this article were, there's so much stiff competition for it. And, so it's not easy choices to make. And if Mr. Clarke was someone who was in the position who was taking advantage of that, then that's one thing. At the same time, when I see that clip, I see somebody who, similar to myself, as you may have seen, has a very irreverent and sometimes acerbic sense of humor. And I wonder if some of these accusations are somebody who he may have made an offhand remark or a joke and someone just took it the wrong way and they interpreted, in all sincerity, as a come on or as some kind of weird, inappropriate sort of thing.
You're right. They're trying to make something cut and dry that each individual instance is unique in of itself. And you can't just cut and dry, hang people out to dry like this. And if he did something wrong, then shit, he should be punished. If he did something truly wrong, you're right. We're gonna have this retroactive cancel culture, which will continue. That's why LeVar Burton, when you say something like cancel culture, shit, I hope
it's coming.
I hope there isn't any skeletons in your closet. I hope
there are.
Well, let's be real too. There's a lot of assholes and scumbags in the industry as well. And I remember doing a workshop of this really bad musical, and there was a point where this director, who's very well known, very established, and he gathered. I just happened to be in this group, and there's about 4 or 5 other young women that were there, and he's just going on and on. This guy's in his 60s. He's going on and on about like, look at so and so, isn't she beautiful? Isn't she just beautiful? Yeah, I'm like, dude. We're in fucking New York City. These are Broadway performers. Like, everyone's beautiful, bro. Like, everyone looks good. Like, what the fuck are you going on about? But then I looked at the other women and they were just kind of nodding along with it. And I saw just a few more dimples in the chins. You know what I mean? Like, they just seemed like they were sort of nodding through duress. And for me, a light kind of went on and I was like, oh, okay. What kind of other comments and other behavior have they sort of felt like they had to endure? Because, well, if I say something, then this guy's powerful. He's gonna destroy my career and he's not gonna like me. He's gonna, he's gonna ruin this opportunity for me. But at the same time, I will say it's kind of a non sequitur that it doesn't go both ways, because I remember at the very year that all that stuff began to pop off, I got my ass groped / slapped by 5 different times by 4 different women. 3 of them were married. And I got groped in the chest by one woman. And I said to her, I was like, oh, what do you, equality. She was like, you can't do it to me. It's a weird profession where, like if you show up 2 minutes late for a rehearsal, everyone hates you. But then at the same time, you meet strangers and the next week you're making out with them. And then by the time you're doing the show, you see them backstage, you see them in their underwear, you see them naked, all kinds of stuff. So it's a weird kind of industry. How do you impose rules on that? And even on top of that, if you're going to impose rules, you have to do it evenly and fairly. But we're going in the extreme direction where everything has to be sort of vanilla and beige and kind of smoothed out. And
gotta have the hall monitor too.
Yeah, it's just, and I don't know how you create. I mean, I was always trained you have to be bold and and take risks and everything. I don't know how you create great art and just really interesting moments on screen or on stage if you're in an environment where everything has to be sanitized like that. It's a very complicated question. I don't know how you do that.
If you like what I do here, please consider subscribing to the channel and liking and sharing the videos. It really does help. And if you did this with your favorite YouTuber as well, I'm sure they would appreciate it as much as I do.